Hey, filth weavers. So, there's a message for you I'm feeling called to share, and it has to do with processes of unmasking and like fully stepping into the world of our dreams, or it's funny that I said that like a question, like the world of our dreams, like what is the world of our dreams? But I feel like it was a question because of that language. It's like I've been feeling into kind of being in this transition place of moving from a world that values domination and dominating the earth, dominating each other, dominating ourselves, and this I've been feeling into like a transition period of like what would it take for us to reconnect with ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirits, and to honor that and recognize that in each other, and then also to connect that with the earth. And I feel like a lot of descendants of Europeans in the occupied lands of America, or whatever names they had before that. Some call it Turtle Island, some don't have a name for it. Some, I'm sure there are other names too. So, like, where are we? Where are we situating ourselves? And I feel like that transition space kind of allowed me to like unravel a bit in my the way I was thinking about things, and unraveling in my own being, unraveling in my own identities or dreams, or like wanting to find like solutions. And so that's kind of where Filth Weaver was born from. It was like, first it was like this focus on like recycling, re-glowing, finding our inner illumination, finding our inner light, our inner voice, our inner guidance. And then it started moving into Filth Weavers, which is like being with the unknown, being with the darkness, being with our shadows and the filth. And like I think that has always been present for us, and also it's like maybe even pushed to the edges a bit, and it's like bringing that more into, I don't know if it's bringing the shadows into the center or more allowing ourselves to feel into the shadows and to feel into the cracks and to feel into the places of discomfort and maybe that are easily numbed out. And I want to say that a lot of that language and like movement towards that focus has been inspired by Bayo Komolafe's work. And if you're not familiar, you can check him out. So yeah, Filth Weavers was kind of born or risen from this sense of like feeling into those cracks, those places of discomfort, and you know, also recognizing why those things have been pushed to discomfort, because there have been at least 1,000 years where those specific parts of ourselves have been demonized or made to feel like they're wrong or they're not allowed for like a lot of our ancestors' survival. And so how do we, Bayo Komolafe calls it creating sanctuary for our monsters. So how do we do that? How do we create a safe enough space and a sanctuary for our monsters, or like the outcasted parts of ourselves and the cracks, to be felt and like acknowledged as a part of ourselves? And a lot of this work is feeling into the unknown, because part of the old world of like, which world are we talking about? The world where people are like, maybe we need a short phrase for this or something. The domination world, where we try to control those parts of ourselves. So yeah, this work is trying to come into contact more with those parts, and then weaving is like to then allow those parts to become integrated and part of the tapestries of our lives, and to create with those parts. And when we create with those parts, when we weave with those parts, we come into a wholeness that's not like purity culture wholeness. It's a whole and like domesticated housewife wholesome wholeness. It's like a deep, like soiled wholeness that feels the elements, that feels the seasons, and that dreams with the earth and dreams with the creatures of the earth. And so let's let's get into doing that here. So I'm just going to feel into my own cracks and this liminal space, which is I talked about, you know, the domination control world. Then I talked into like this unraveling space of transition, kind of like the transition space where you're not fully in one world and or you're not fully in the world that we're weaving. And that can feel kind of fragmenting, and like for me it was like I'm doing this motion, like can't really move forward, can't really make clear decisions because it's like split, like I'm split between surviving in both worlds, but in each world requires a different mentality or paradigm or way of surviving, one that's based out of fear, and then one that's based out of like fear and control, and I think kind of manipulation. And it's hard to get out of that if you're actively in it and interacting with that kind of dharma and those kinds of unspoken rules. So stepping into this place where what I've been feeling is like stepping into, I've been calling it like the world of my dreams, but it's not fully that, because I think I know what I mean by that, but and what do I mean by that, to try to like express this and communicate it to you. It's like a place of emergence, and in that emergence there's like there's actually space to emerge. And there's like a deep knowing. And an honoring of like the squirrels outside that are my friends, the tree that I give my blood to. Even this morning I was looking at the tree and the branches kept intersecting. I kept seeing on different parts of the tree. It's wintertime here. We're intersecting like stars. I kept seeing the stars in the branches. My star tree. I think it's like rebalancing out the light and the shadow. I feel like it's not so much a focus on how things will look, but more so trusting in the process of coming back to my inner being and feeling into like my own essence and reconnecting with my own essence and Like anytime I'm feeling like worry or anxiety or whatever energies I'm picking up, and just coming back to my inner being more and more. And so, yeah, I wanted to come here and talk to you from this place of unmasking and like feeling deeper into this, like, all these different words came up: existential, phenomenal, like transpersonal existence of consciousness and being consciousness, and the essence of consciousness being love. And so here we are, and I also want to feel more into like this collective energy and how that lives within me as consciousness in like an individual body, as this larger collective consciousness playing out within my individual body. I think that's reflected in our collective consciousness. And this specific fractal of filth weavers, and how coming into this deeper knowing and unknowing and like being with that unknown, how can that how can this expression of my authenticity support you in your expression of your authenticity, but also just like the love that you are? How can we allow ourselves to just be the love, an expression of source as love? And Lama Rod Owens did this on his Medicine Buddha a couple weeks ago, was talking about how we perceive ourselves. And when we are like our inner image, or how we see ourselves in the mirror when it's reflected, or even like our mind's eye image, what do we see, and how can that be? How can we see ourselves? Let us practice seeing ourselves as an expression of divine love, and have that courageousness to see ourselves as that. And I think the more that we practice that for ourselves, the more that emanates, and the more other people can actually feel and sense that from us and from themselves as well. Yeah, it's kind of a trip to exist and to kind of play with our inner connectivity, and like how can we like have the most loving experience here. Love is in like tenderness and kindness and vulnerability, but also love is in like courageousness, and like when we feel fucking angry and we feel like the world is on our shoulders, or we feel like our chest is like weighing us down, like just having this like radical acceptance of ourselves in any state that arises, knowing that like this gesture is like being able to witness all of it, and still being able to know that this and that is an expression of love. And because there are things happening, there are things in the world, in this physical world, in the cosmological world and spiritual worlds that are like, there's really horrific things happening. So when we feel our feelings, that raises our consciousness to be able to feel and acknowledge what's happening, and like to be able to recognize the pain and let it move through us. So I kind of want to stop there. I'm curious if any of this is resonating with you, the parts around like, especially the parts around like getting clear and coming into like a clarity with the world that we're choosing to exist within, and generate our lives from. For me, it's the filth weaver is also this gesture of reconnecting with nature and our cosmological stories, and I think weaving helps us to do that in the moment, and then the weaving is like weaving a substance where we can embody that, and I think it like the weaving materializes like a new culture, like a new ancient culture. So, and like what makes up culture? There's like, yeah, sure, materials and clothing and languages and food and rituals and ceremonies, and like it's comprised of peoples. Like, how are we gonna weave our filth together, like reconnecting? I'm seeing the image of Yggdrasil, like the branches connected with the earth. Like, how are we gonna like reconnect those tendons from our branches to our roots to like allow that cycle to continue? And I think part of it is like seeing it as reconnected, like seeing it as whole, and like standing in that being and that wholeness, and then generating from that place. Like every day coming into alignment, connecting with the earth and the stars, and allowing that alignment to flow through you. And yeah, so those are things I wanted to just like bring forward with you all to establish kind of like a to connect in this way. I'm like, it's not really a foundation, it's not really a baseline, because the unknown and like the feeling I have is more like to connect in this way, in this realm of I feel like it needs a name, but also maybe it doesn't. Also, maybe it has many names. So, what do you think? Do you think it has a name? Or would you rather, maybe both exist? Because even in this world, like, I imagine there's different dimensions to it. Dimensions of known and unknown. So, yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave it there. I have to go. And, yeah, I have to go to the bathroom. And I was gonna pull some cards, but I think I'll leave it at that for now, just to have this almost like intro video to I guess like broaching what's unfolding here with us, and how are we orienting to this space together. So yeah, I'd really love to hear your thoughts around like what resonated with this with you, and also where there was dissonance. And yeah, I think that like if there's something moving within you, I think it's important to be acknowledged. And I think that if that can come into conversation with curiosity, I think that's part of the filth weaving as well. Okay. Love. Thank you.